Hello traders, welcome back to the channel. Today is a highly requested video. I often go on about backtesting, how you should backtest and put it all into a spreadsheet, collect all this data, but I haven't actually shown how to do this. So today I'm going to go through that, how I actually do it with a clean spreadsheet to show you guys how it's actually done and how I recommend you guys actually do it to kind of maximize the time rather than just having a screenshot before and after. You don't really get anything out of that. So I'm going to show you guys what I actually do. And maybe you could, follow the exact same thing and maybe put it into your trading as well. So what I actually do is, if you go onto the screen now, you guys can see it. This is the layout which I actually use. So I don't use Excel. I use Google Sheets because then, if I want to backtest on my MacBook, let's say I want to look at the stats on my phone or my PC, it's all synced, so I don't have to, transfer the file each time. It's all synced on Google Sheets and it is completely free as well. So you don't actually have to pay for this backtesting at all, which is, an extra bonus. I also use Edgewonk, which, if you guys are interested, you can check it out in the description. I do actually have an affiliate link. But if you look in the backtesting here, you can add a backtesting session and put all the outcomes. And then you can also see like this, and you can add notes for each trade. But it tells you all the win rate stuff here, but technically you could just input both. But I prefer Google Sheets because it is a lot cleaner and you can get a lot more data in and use all the different formulas. So the first column is obviously the pair we're trading. So what I do is I create these little data validation drop downs. So if you go on here and you go on data to data validation, and you can add in the list of items of the pairs which you actually want to add in. Same for direction and all these other columns as well with using this data validation. So let's say we took a gold trade and we bought gold. So obviously long is buying gold, short is selling gold, if you guys didn't know. So we have that in there. And what I do is, if I want to make it so each one of these columns is the exact same, you click on one, drag it down, and they all change to have this drop down menu, which is a nice little bonus rather than having to copy and paste for each specific box or cell, whatever they're called. Moving on to entry day. This is where people actually do their backtesting wrong. They don't collect enough data. They don't know when they should trade, which session they should trade. And just by doing this, it kind of, which days of the week your strategy works the best. Let's say every single time you enter on a Monday, it loses. Or you don't ever find entries on a Monday. What you should probably do is not trade on Mondays, because it will become evident to you that Mondays aren't best for your strategy. So on Mondays, you can go do whatever else. You can go out for dinner. You could go out swimming, on the beach, on holiday. Obviously not for one day, but let's say you want to have a nice weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You can do that because your setups aren't going to be there on Monday anyway. Obviously, you're going to get the odd occasion where you get a setup on Monday. You're going to be like, oh my God, I missed the setup. What am I going to do? But just remember, based on stats over the long term, you're not just doing it based off two different trades which you've actually inputted, which is what I'm going to go over. But entry day, we obviously have another drop down, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But you'll see over here, when I inputted that Monday, the Monday entries here changed to 1. And that's because I used the countif formula here, which actually made it so it goes to Monday. So if I put Tuesday here instead, you see that Tuesday changes to 1. So that's quite cool. Exit day is also important because you're going to want to know if you should have to hold your trades overnight and how long you're going to be in the trade. So if all your trades are like 2 or 3 days, then you know that, okay, if your target hasn't hit in that first day when you're in the trade, it's fine because based on your testing, your trades usually take 2 or 3 days. Or you could, from your backtesting, notice that usually your trades are closed in the exact same day as you enter. And then if your trade is 2 or 3 days open, that's a bit, out of the ordinary. It's an anomaly. So you kind of have to obviously take it into consideration, but don't just close a trade because it's out of the ordinary for your trading style. There's obviously going to be exceptions. Maybe you have news or something like that, or a bit of consolidation, and it could affect this. Let's say we close on Tuesday. So you could also have another box here for exit day. So this is obviously entries. You could also have one for exits as well, but I'm not really fussed about that. I'm more more focused on the entries when I need to be on the charts, when I need to be trading. The reason it doesn't actually say the session, usually I'd have a column for the session or the time of entry, but what I do is if you actually look at the bottom down here, you can see I've got GU here and I've got GU London. I'm not going to click on them because obviously it has all my backtesting results in there, but this is New York, this is London. So I know that any backtesting results on this particular sheet is actually London session and this one is New York session. And, you know, since I've been testing GU, I find it works better in London session for my particular strategy. So that is what I've actually been focused on. But yeah, here we have SL in pips. So obviously stop loss in pips. Let's say our stop loss for that trade was actually 10 pips. Over here, average stop loss size, it does calculate it, the average of all the stop loss sizes that you've put in. So you can see, okay, let's say you got a trade, but it's a 20 pip stop, but your average is 6 pips. It's a lot more than usual. Maybe you're entering the wrong place. Maybe you're entering too early or too late, and this is what you can actually look at. Lot size doesn't really matter. Let's just put 10. Doesn't really matter at all, but it is quite nice to see. It can also help you remember as well. Let's say you're trading a funded account. You might miss your entry. You're on Stinu. You're on a risk management calculator app trying to find the lot size. If you're regularly using the same lot size, then remembering it can be quite easy. You can cause you to not miss any setups and just overall make more profit. Obviously, just remembering your lot size isn't going to double your win rate, but it could be a factor into making more profit and not missing your entries. So moving on to trade type. This is where I've just changed it to type 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because I don't know how you guys trade. So type 1 here, once again, it does fill in over here. On my personal sheets, I actually have another one for the execution type. So you've got execution 1, 2, 3, 4, all these entries. So trade type, this is kind of my overall bias. So this is the reason I'm looking at entering at this area. That will be my trade type. So this is the type of trade I'm taking based on this area. Perfect. And I've got 5 options. So there's 5 different setups which I actually take. And then I've got 4 execution types. So this is kind of the entry trigger. What are you looking to see in this particular bias area or this point of interest to actually enter the trade? What is going to make you enter? Boom, there. That's what the execution is. So if you've got different execution types, maybe you've got, I don't know, what people trade, engulfing candles or something like that. I don't know. I don't trade them personally, but I know people do. That's what you put in here as one of your execution types, which would give you a reason to enter the trade. Moving on to result. This is obviously quite self-explanatory, win, loss, or break even. If I click win here, you see it adds a win up here. And if I add a loss below, adds in a loss and all that there. But as you see here, out of these trades, we've won 1, which is a 33% win rate. Very, very nice. Not too bad, not too bad. Actually, it's quite bad, but it's all right. So then if we click ROI here and put in 2, it comes up here as 2. And if you put it in the pounds as well, it will also show over here. Next one, which is quite common in a lot of backtesting people's spreadsheets, before and after screenshots. So what I do with this one is a lot of people when they're backtesting aren't doing it properly. So they'll wait for it to come into an area, and if they get a rejection and then prices moved away from the area, they'll say, okay, I would have entered here. But honestly, you wouldn't have entered there. Would you have actually? Probably not. So you kind of got to be honest with yourself. Would I have actually entered? If it was a no, don't put the before screenshot in. There's literally no point. Because then if you're claiming it as a win, then your win rate isn't actually what it was supposed to be. So what I'd like to do is, let's say I'm looking to get in at this particular area, but then price is coming down to the area and it's close, I'll put the before screenshot in. Even if it's a loss, it doesn't really matter because, again, you're not losing money, you're gaining knowledge. You're gaining knowledge from the data which you've actually got. Let's say you lose 1 or 2 trades because you put it in as a trade before it actually got into a level, you didn't wait to see a confirmation. That's fine. You could just annotate on your trading view chart, this is what happened, boom, and the after screenshot. And then if you look back, you've obviously got all the data. You can see, okay, I put this one before just in case, and this is what happened. Because let's say you're out and you want to set a limit, but you're not going to be there to see the entry. So again, it is quite good to actually just collect the data anyway. No one's gonna judge you if you have more data. So yeah, that's what I personally do. So all of this together can definitely help your trading. You know, you can collect a lot of data, you can find out a lot about your personal trading style, and I might leave this in a link in the description if I can work out a way to do it without people editing my personal document, because that wouldn't be ideal. But yeah, I hope you guys did find this useful. A little short video on my backtesting spreadsheet. If you did enjoy, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.